Hey friends, I'm Cortney.
And I'm Jill, and welcome to this week's episode of This Just Got Weird.
You know who made it?
Woo!
That's been Courtney's go-to sound of the week, I guess.
Woo!
Yeah.
And how did it start? I think I was watching Attack on Titan. We were talking about if Commander Erwin and Captain Levi were in Titan form and they were like fighting.
Hugging.
We'd be like, woo!
Yeah.
Like we'd be down on the ground just like cheering, like, go get it, brother. Like they're just sparring, you know, and kissing. So
Yeah.
Sparring
That's
with
how
her,
it started.
with her mouth.
And now it's continued. So
Welcome back. So I have some great news. So you guys are in the future, obviously. So you already know.
you're all in the future.
By the time you guys listen to this, you will have known who won the Super Bowl. But I have Josh Allen won MVP, and that's all I care about. I wish he would have won the Super Bowl. We tried to manifest it, but he won MVP, and he deserved it, and he is the best, and I love him so much. And did you see that video of him crying over his MVP, like, congratulations video?
Yes, because he's a sweet, wholesome baby.
Crying. I love him. I love his fiance, his parents. So cute. They were crying during his speech. And yes, I did live stream it. I was watching it. I recorded it. And when he won, I screamed, woo! Not really, but I did scream, yes! And then my stepfather looked over at me and said, did you live stream that? I'm like, I did.
Because we knew he was going to win.
I know it. He deserved it. He's number one. He's number one in our hearts. He's number one. God damn it. Hello.
Hello, what are you doing?
We're recording the podcast right now.
Welcome.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Welcome to the podcast. You're now on it.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Hello.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Tell them your favorite thing about me.
My favorite thing about you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that on air.
Oh,
Dirty.
Ooh, naughty.
He's actually.
My favorite thing about you, how you can always make me laugh.
Aw, cute. That's what I try to do for everybody. Okay, well, I'll call you when we're done.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.
That was my husband, not Gojo, not Captain Levi.
No, the real.
But I have a real husband.
You do.
As weeby and weird as I am, I have a real life husband. Speaking of things that are real, do you think aliens are real?
Fuck yes, they're real.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I do too.
I also think vampires and werewolves are real.
You do?
Yeah.
Like legit.
Legit.
Where do you think they are?
I don't know.
Oh. Like on this planet?
Yeah.
They're not like alien
I don't
werewolves?
know. Maybe they are.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah. I believe in it all.
Mermaids? Mm-hmm. Mermen.
Yeah.
I believe in Sukuna drawn as a merman.
Oh.
Four-armed merman.
Yeah, no, I believe in all of that.
You do?
I do.
Trying to think of anything. Witches? Like, well, we know witches.
Yeah.
We're witchy.
Yeah, no.
Bitches?
Bitches, totally. Because I am one.
Me too.
No, I've always believed in all that stuff ever since I was little.
Oh, cool. Okay. And aliens, for sure.
For sure.
So the first scary movie, and it's not even scary, but as a kid younger than Ben, it was scary to me. We watched Signs.
Oh.
Yeah,
that was a freaky one.
I think they tried to send me, they're like, oh, you don't want to watch this, because my parents used to have their friends come over for like movie nights and stuff, and they tried to send me away, and I was like, I want to watch it. And then I acted like I wasn't scared, and then I went to bed that night thinking an alien was going to like materialize in my closet and come and kill me.
Aw. No.
So I was scared of aliens for a while, but I believe they're real too. Isn't there evidence now that's come out?
Oh, yeah.
They're like finally releasing it, saying they are real.
Yeah, and I know people in the military that they're like, oh, yeah. We would see weird shit all the time.
Well, and your bestie's husband works in NASA, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. I
But
tried to get
he's
stuff
not
out of
sharing.
him, but he's not telling me shit. So
He's probably under
thanks a lot,
strict.
Rico.
He's under strict regulation. He can't say.
I am like a lock box that's somewhat broken. I wouldn't tell many people.
You would obviously tell the entire podcast.
That's just a few. They wouldn't tell anybody.
Welcome, our few listeners. We love you.
Yeah, don't tell people.
We've noticed that we've been having listeners from different states, different countries. So welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to Idaho. Welcome to our relationship.
Our platonic.
We'd love to welcome you into our platonic relationship.
We do. We welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. If you're new here, we're just really a couple of best friends just hanging out, and
Piper is hanging out as well.
Piper's pissed off and she's ready to kill people.
Let's start with our story, our alien encounter.
We were hoping we were going to get abducted by aliens. Abducted.
I think we were hoping as long as they looked like Sukuna, but we were actually pretty scared.
Well, okay, so we were driving home from Utah from Isley's soccer thing. We're like driving. We were like outside of Pocatello.
Yeah, you know when you come around like she be coming around the mountain when she. We were coming around.
You're about to sing it again.
Jesus. We were coming around that mountain towards the south of Pocatello, and
yeah, and at first I saw like lights on top.
Yeah, so
it
what
looked
it
like
looked like a light pole on a
top
mountain.
of a mountain, like
yes.
you would see like for flashing for planes.
Yes, yeah, that's what it looked like at first because it was small.
Because it was small,
and
it was only a couple.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's way more, and they're huge. And I think you said, you're like, that can't be a light pole. It's too big. And I'm like, and I've drove this area before. I've never seen a light pole. And there's not a mountain there because it's dark. It's super dark.
Pitch black. And so I was like, maybe it's a crane. And then I'm like, that'd be a weird place for a crane.
That's what we thought, though, because that's what it looked like was the lights on a crane.
Yeah.
But we're like, how is a crane in the sky right
well,
there?
yeah, because then I'm like, I don't think the mountain's there anymore. I'm like, and then like the closer we got, like the more it got and the higher it went up. And
yes,
we were
so
just
it was
like,
closer to be like above the car rather than like off in the distance on a mountain. And we could see the mountains at this point.
Yeah.
And so now it's just suspended above the city and it's huge. And we're like freaking out. We're like, what is that? What is that? Isley's in the back just looking down or sleeping.
No, she was sleeping.
And we apparently woke her up, but she was like, you guys are being annoying. And then we took a picture and it disappeared. That was the crazy part, is it slowly started to disappear light by light. It was like in a straight line up and down and started to slowly disappear light by light. And then all of a sudden it just like was gone fast. And so we took a picture before it left and showed Isley. And then she was like, oh, that is actually scary. She thought we were just being dumb.
Which, I mean...
Well, so we get to the house. I'm telling Lars about it. We get to my house, telling Lars about it, unpacking all our stuff. And you were scared to go home.
Yeah, because I was like, whoa.
This is freaky.
Like, is it going to come back? Like, what is going on?
And then I think we were ready for it. Then we're like,
then we came to it, like, we're like, well, because we were like literally the only car out. And I was like, well, if they spotted us, they spotted us.
If they want to come take us, if they want to abduct us,
I'll take one for the team.
Us, probe us, and they look nice, they look like Suki, then it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm not mad.
I probably would have been a little scared, and then I'd be like, oh. All right.
I mean, you see someone with like 4 arms,
and
4
eyes, and mouths all over your body.
Mouths on the hands and the stomach and the... I mean, you see that, and you get abducted and taken into a UFO. You see that, at first you're going to be like, oh shit, this is terrifying. And then you probably just accept it, right?
Well, then, yeah. But, of course, our husbands just crush our dreams.
Yeah, Jill told Ethan, and he immediately knew what it was. And maybe you guys have figured it out by now. Maybe you've seen it.
Yeah, because when I got home...
I sent you the pictures, right?
Yeah.
To show him?
Yeah, and I was telling him, he's like, no, there's no such thing. And I'm like, yes, there is. I was like, we saw it. And then Isley's like, yeah, Dad, they showed me a picture. And I was like, I showed him the picture. And he's like, that's Starlink. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was either.
And he's like, that's Elon Musk's satellite system. And I'm like...
And then she sends it to me and she's like, Ethan says it's Starlink. And I did the same thing. I'm like, what the hell is Starlink? And I told Lars that. And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to tell you.
Yeah. And then he was like, see, I told you. And I'm like, you know what? I still think it was an alien.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. We had no idea. I had no idea that Starlink was a thing.
No.
So I think we felt the most genuine what we could have felt. Like that's how we would react seeing a real one.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
We thought it was, and it was scary.
It was. It was scary because like you just kept looking at it. And then you realize, like, it's in the sky.
Yeah. Like, at first you look at it, you're like, you're trying to rationalize it. You're trying to say, like, this has to be something natural. This isn't what it is. And then it does something unnatural. And you're like, oh, shit, this is real. And it is scary. So I can only imagine seeing anything else like that would be the same, Speaking of that, so there have been...
There have been, between May 2023 and June 2024, 757 UFOs had been reported. So that's the thing. So Tammy, she said her husband, he works for NASA, and he's like, look up Blue Book. And I'm like...
Project
yeah.
Blue Book.
And I'm like, I don't want to
And
look
so
it up. Just
Jill
tell me
did-
what it is.
She found this like report of all the sightings and
Well, so it started out as the Air Force investigation of the UFOs in 1948. That at time was known as Project Sign. Then it changed its name to Project Grudge, which I thought was
oh, I
funny.
like that better. I love the Grudge movie.
And that was in Grudge movie.
I do.
And that was in 53. It became Grudge, and then in 1953 is when it became Project Blue Book. And so between 48 and 1969, they investigated 12,618 UFO sightings. And out of all those, 701 were actual ones they could not explain. And the other ones they found, like they were balloons, satellites, other aircraft.
Stuff like our experience. That's what I was like
Yeah.
thinking of. Like you see these things and they get explained away because that just shows majority of the time they can be explained away by something natural. But 701 are still unexplained, and I think that's freaky.
Well, yeah, that is freaky. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
And that was back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So
Yeah.
there's no telling like
what's
what it is
been
now.
Like,
But
yeah,
that was the other thing too. There were like all these reportings. I'm like, is there like a number people are supposed to call? Like, hey, UFO 711.
Is there?
I don't know.
I bet there is.
I'm just asking because I'm like, who do you call? And then the dispatch
Who you
person,
gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
NASA.
711 UFO sightings. How can I help you?
The National UFO Reporting Center, Newfork.
Newfork.
It's a non-governmental, non-profit corporation registered in Washington State.
Ah.
Probably because they get the most.
Probably because of Bigfoot.
Because he's there.
Yeah, that's where he's at.
So the aliens just go to visit him.
They probably dropped him off.
They're
and he
like,
was
hey, amigo,
"Hey,
we
are
need you
you-
to scope out.
Are you going to come back home?
Scope out the United States.
So Tammy also said, so they were stationed in Fort Nellis when she was a kid. And her dad
Where's
had...
that at?
North Dakota?
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know. Nevada?
Oh.
Maybe Nevada. I think maybe Nevada.
Okay.
Whoever knows.
By Area
let us know.
51?
But he had to fly to Area 51 often to do all kinds of weird shit. So she would ask if he'd ever seen aliens while he was out there. And all he would say is, I saw a lot of weird shit, but not aliens.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Her dad was crazy.
That's probably why he was crazy. He probably got abducted.
Well,
And can't talk about
So
it.
if it wasn't aliens, maybe it was vampires and werewolves. And
Maybe they are aliens.
maybe
Maybe there's a whole colony of vamp aliens and they
And-
sparkle.
and like werewolves.
Yeah, like Professor Lupin. Maybe that's the aliens. Maybe that is them.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know.
We might. I think we will one day. We're going to keep investigating
they
it.
have declassified a lot of stuff that had been classified by the military. I think one of the pilots were like, oh, yeah, I saw aliens all the time. Like, it was like, oh, yeah. It was
That's normal for me.
like
This is
flo-
just
there's
casual.
a
It's like you see a stray cat on the, yeah.
An
Damn.
alien.
Yeah, because they've released a lot of stuff. We have a coworker who's like huge into that.
Yeah.
Huge conspiracy.
Also,
theories.
he's really into the conspiracy theories.
But aliens aren't a conspiracy. Aliens are real.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of famous UFO sightings. One right after I was born, the Phoenix Lights.
I do. I remember hearing
You were
about-
alive.
Yeah,
I was 2.
I was 17.
Young, youthful. Thousands of residents in Arizona and Nevada noticed a strange, unidentified flying object doing movements in the formation of a V. The observer happened to witness this incident on March 13th, 1997. V.
As in victory.
I was thinking as in vag.
Well,
V is for vendetta.
that just shows our personalities.
The Gulf Breeze incident. Did you hear about that one? You were alive.
No, maybe.
Multiple residents claimed UFO sightings in Gulf Breeze, Florida, United States, reported close encounters with triangular UFOs.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, extensive photographs and videos were taken, but their authenticity remains debated.
Yeah, because then they thought it was something to do with like the Bermuda Triangle or something like that.
Oh, that's a whole thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. The Roswell incident, you were not alive.
I twas not.
That was in 1947. It gained attention due to speculations made about recovered alien spacecraft and extraterrestrial bodies. The crash site was in New Mexico. The U.S. Air Force initially claimed it was a weather balloon, but the ongoing secrecy and shifting explanations continue to fuel conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and that's when it started, the whole Project Blue Book.
That's what started it?
I think so.
Oh.
I think it started like 1948, I think. 1947, yeah.
That must have been it.
I mean, they had to keep track because then, people were just like, I saw an alien. And then they're like, well, did you? They're like,
Right.
no, my husband's really hairy and he's running naked out back. Just wanted to get on the books.
I think it probably does trigger other people. I'm so sorry. Because I think when you make a false claim, people think, you're going to get famous over it. There was the 2 famous abductions that we looked up. And when I was reading about the second one, they had just watched the documentary about the first, and then he claimed to get abducted. So I don't know. I think they think you're going to get traction and then
and
fame.
I think
and
around that time, too, the drugs were really coming out.
probably.
So
He's just in the forest having a freaking high, and he's like, I have been abducted.
he actually found shrooms. He's the first one.
Do you believe any of the abduction stories?
I don't know. I think it kind of depends. I don't know. Because I do believe, but then here's my thing. I feel like aliens do come and see, and then they're like, this place is fucked up. Let's go somewhere else.
They're like, we're good on this.
They're like, oh, I've heard Earth is a great place to vacation. And then they come, they're like, no,
Ew.
it's horrible here.
Okay. So you think they do know about us?
Yeah, because
They
if
have the means
they're
of communication,
like this,
and they just don't want to.
Yeah, because if they're supposed to be of higher intellect than us, it's like, I would hope they'd be like, ugh.
Why do they believe that, though? Why is that I think
know.
that's the common theory is that people believe that they are more intelligent than us.
Maybe
I think
because-
I'm more under the impression, or what I would think is more realistic is that they're similar to us and they haven't found a way to reach out yet. That there's, out of all the millions and millions of planets and stars and whatever, there's got to be one out there similar to us, and then they have the same, maybe they look the same as us, or maybe they don't, but they have the same intellectual level that we do. And so they just they don't have the ability to reach out to us yet.
That's a good
I think
theory.
that makes the most sense for me. But then that doesn't explain the UFOs. And the corpses of the aliens that they found.
bodies.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. And that's the thing. It's you want to believe, but then at the same time, you're like, but I mean,
Well,
I
and
do believe that they are real, whether they're abducting. Maybe back in the 40s, they did.
Maybe.
Just to see what this was all about.
And then they
they're
learned and then they gave up.
And then they came back a couple times and they're like, they're not evolving very quickly.
They're really
My
boring.
gosh.
And that's what I think as human beings, and we try to rationalize everything,
Yeah.
and we just can't fathom in our little brains that there is things that are unexplainable.
Well, yeah, and I also think it's an ego thing. There's nothing possibly better than us.
I could see that. There is people that live their lives like that. I'm the opposite of that. I'm like,
I'm,
I'm the stupidest person.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you are very smart. I will listen to you.
I shall listen. You tell me what to do. I can only imagine if an alien came to you and was like, I am your commander now.
I'd be like, okay.
You are so intelligent.
do
What are
you-
you? Are you 6'7", 6'8"? Whoa.
What are you lifting? 310?
What?
My
Oh
gosh.
Why are you? Why are you
Whoa.
blue?
What is going on right there, sir? Are you a sir? I don't want to.
I don't want to misgender you. Do you have
I don't know what I would do if I saw an alien.
real
Yeah.
life?
I think I'd pee myself.
I would be scared. My poor little, I do that all the time. My like little 6-year-old brain would come back from that time that I watched Signs, and I'd be like, it's happening, I'm gonna die.
I think I would freak out because it wouldn't be able to speak our language, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, you're here to kill me!" And
Yeah,
they're just
it's
like,
really just like, hey, how are you?
Hey,
I can get you back to your house.
"We got lost. Could you give us some instructions?" And
Point
they're
us
like,
to the nearest sun,
like their
please.
hand is like a blade, and I'm like, "Oh my
A
God, he's gonna
blade.
chop
Oh
me
my
up."
gosh, that'd be cool. Chainsaw. It's like
Man.
Chainsaw Man. I'd be like, where is Aki? Bring him to me.
Like dingy.
I think I would be scared shitless for sure. I even see, my son is not an alien, but I was not sleeping the other night.
Like why did we have that precursor?
Side quest, come with me. I was up at 1 a.m. on Monday, and I stayed awake until it was time to like wake everybody else up and go to school. Yeah, I told you this story. And so one of the reasons we're like, we have to get a new house is because we have one bathroom in our tiny house. And so I was up at 3 a.m. because I'm like, if I can't sleep, I'm just going to shower now, and maybe it'll help me trigger like a nap right before I have to get up. And so I go take a shower. I go out into my kitchen in a towel, and I'm like getting water or something. And all of a sudden my back patio door opens, and a human being walks through my door. Not an alien, a human, a man. Walks through the damn back door right into my kitchen, and I'm like, fuck! Like, I was so scared. I'm ready to like fight this person, punch him in my towel. I'm naked in a towel, and I was ready to throw hands. And my son looks at me and is like, I'm so sorry, I had to go to the bathroom and you were in there. I'm like, go the fuck to bed. What are you doing? Scared the shit out of me. So
Thank
if I
God
reacted,
you kept the towel on.
I know. That's I'm like, don't be out doing things. Go to bed. It's 3 a.m.
If anything, he could have like tapped on the door and been like,
That's what I'm like, just come in and go pee. I don't care. There's freaking curtains and stuff. Yeah, scared the shit out of me. So he went out in the backyard and peed. I'm like, really, dude? And I walked in scared. So if I reacted like that to a person, if an alien walked through my back door, I'd be like, take me. I'm ready. I hate this place. It's scary here.
And be like, you want to see scary?
You stay here. The world's getting freaky.
I'm going to cut you open while you're awake.
It's about time for like a solar flare to take us all out. That almost happened in 2012. It was in July of 2012. That was going to be my random fact, but it's not.
No, I don't know what I would do if an alien confronted me. I'd probably try to bake it a cake.
I thought you were going to say bake it, like kill it.
Oh, I
eat
might.
it. I'm like,
I don't
damn,
know.
okay. Not vegetarian.
No.
So let's go into some theories.
So there is this formula called the Drake equation. Mm-hmm. And it tells you it's an estimated number of how many civilizations live within the Milky Way.
That's cool. How do they configure it, though?
Because they're super smart. I don't know. The astronaut Frank Drake, sounds like a rapper.
Just hold on, we're going home. That's what they play in the UFO on their way back to the planet. Just gonna, we're going home.
Multiplying, like they multiply all these factors, like the rate of a star formation, the fraction of stars with planets, and the likelihood of life developing on those planets. And then they put it into this calculation, and then they come up with this estimate of how many alien populations are out there.
That's cool. Did it say how many? How many they think? How many they calculate?
It doesn't. It
Just hold on, we're going home.
But I can give you the equation and you can find it yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hit me with it. I'll do it in my head.
I know. Well, I don't even know how to say it. It's like N equals R times F lowercase p N lowercase e F lowercase I F lowercase I F lowercase C L.
I know.
What is it?
The limit does not exist. The limit does not exist. I have won the mathathon.
That's what Frank probably said, and everybody's like, God damn it, Frank.
Frank, you dumbass.
You wasted our time.
There's also the Fermi paradox. It's an apparent contradiction between the likelihood of intelligent alien life existing and the lack of evidence of it. Fermi paradox was first proposed by physicist Enrico Fermi.
Enrico.
Yeah, in 1950. It's based on the idea that there are many stars in the Milky Way, so it's likely that some of them have intelligent life. So kind of similar, like you use the formula.
So
or whatever.
they probably bounced off Drake's equation and then formed a new theory.
Maybe, or maybe
That's
vice
usually
versa.
how it goes. Well, when was this one made?
1950.
Oh, so probably the other way.
When was the Drake?
61.
Oh, see, Fermi was first.
What if they were best friends?
Because they were only 11 years. We don't know their age difference. We just know the age difference of their theories.
I'm like, how do you know that?
I don't know. They do sound similar, though. Some solutions to the theory, because basically it's saying, that we believe intelligent life is out there, but there's no evidence to prove it. The solutions to that are that we might not be able to receive or decode the messages we are receiving from other civilizations.
I have heard that, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have the right technology. Or, and I like this one better, there might be a predator species that intelligent civilizations are afraid of, so they don't transmit signals so that they don't reveal their location to the predator.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too. I'm like, yes, that's why. That's why there is a predator out there, like Alien versus Predator.
I know. I was just going to say that.
Oh,
I love that movie.
That's the one. That's why. That's why we haven't heard from anybody. Why we haven't heard from the aliens.
Because the predator is waiting.
Yes.
The hunter is waiting for the prey.
Yes. And then there's the zoo hypothesis. That's the idea that extraterrestrial life is deliberately avoiding contact with us.
I believe that one.
Yeah. Perhaps to allow human civilization to develop without interference. So they're looking in on us like a zoo. They're like, these are our pits.
Know that we are doomed, and they're like, we'll just wait.
Yeah, maybe that. They just look at us and they're like, oh, just let them fight it out. Let them fight it out. They'll be fine.
I know. And it's funny, too, because of all the different kind of alien movies that are out there. Like, it's always like they're trying to take over our world. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah, I don't like, I'm like, they have their own. There's a predator out there. They don't need, they're trying to hide from us, dude. Tammy said that her dad or Rich or somebody, how there was different types, like different species of alien. Like there's a more reptilian one. There's a more classic big head and eyeball one.
And a little body.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder what the predators look like.
She didn't actually say that.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't.
I swear she did.
She said you can lounge like reptilian aliens in the pool with Charles.
No. I did not make this up in my head. No. I read reptile and assumed there was a reptilian alien. How do you pause it?
Right there.
Jill just made me think I was crazy. Tammy said that there are different species of aliens apparently called greys and reptilian and other stuff like that.
I feel like they could have given them better names.
I
This
feel
one
like-
is gray. So
That's the classic.
The gray. Well, if you're dead, everybody goes gray.
No, he's not dead. He's just gray in life.
They find them.
The Signs alien, weren't they gray?
No, I think they were like.
I blocked
green.
it out. I was so scared.
That was. But she did say there is a podcast by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he talks about aliens, and he's interviewed people that have seen them, and like from NASA and all that kind of stuff. So
That's so cool. We should listen.
we should.
Everybody go listen to it, and then we'll reconvene.
I'm still upset that they're like greys and reptilians. Come on, guys.
That's they're reptilian. They got scales. What are they supposed to call them? Scalies?
I don't know. Crocodile.
Then you
people?
name them. Yeah, that's better. Okay, you saw an alien tomorrow. What would you name it?
What does it look like?
So yours is super tall, very skinny, like arms like Slender Man. It has one eye in the middle, and then it's got mostly like it's scales on the front, but then it's got like small like pit bull fur on the back, and then like a little tail, like a 2-foot long tail, which seems long, but compared to the rest of his body size, like he's tall, so the tail's short.
I would call him Winston.
This is the Winston. Okay, my turn.
Okay. Yours is
Fucking
short.
Winston.
What?
Okay.
It's better than Gray's. Okay, yours is short.
Levi. Captain Levi Ackerman. Does he spin? Fidget spinner?
No.
Okay, keep going.
He's got short, stubby arms that he doesn't have elbows, but he has a long tail that he uses as a hand. And he's got tusks that come out his mouth, down and up.
Cute.
And then he's got little like Doberman ears where they're like standing straight up.
What's his texture?
Kind of like, not rubber, kind of like that one squishy ball we were playing with the other day. And he has 3 eyes, and they all look at different directions.
I think I would name him Winnie.
And you're making fun of Winston?
No, I just shortened yours. I'm just kidding. I think I would probably name him, like, scientific name I meant, though.
Oh.
Scientifically, you're naming them Winstons.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Then mine will be Gerard's.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
He's a little Gerard.
Tall Winston. Get him a little
Pet.
little hit. Keep his little head.
We should draw these characters. We're going to have to keep the descriptions. So out of all our friends, and we harassed people to try to get alien stories. We haven't really had anybody who's had stories, and no abductions, unfortunately. I was really hoping that one of our friends or listeners would hit us with a message that was like, sisses, girls, listen.
Do I have a story for you?
You're going to want to sit down.
Sit down.
I've been abducted and probed, but nobody had.
Which, I mean, to be fair, do you want to tell people that? Because then you're going to be like... I mean, they could tell us because we are a safe space.
Right, but we did say, hey, we'll put it on the pod.
And they're like, I don't want people to know
I
that.
don't need people to know that
They're going to think I'm crazy.
They're going to think my son Reginald is part alien.
Yeah. I mean, but it's hard now to kind of figure out if you see a UFO or if it's a drone now.
Drones, and then obviously the stupid satellites, the Starlink.
Yeah.
It is hard. Yeah, because drones are like floating through the sky all the time. And even satellites, like when you see the satellites out in space, even those sometimes are moving so fast and you're like, oh, that's a UFO, that's a spaceship.
One time, I think it was a couple of years, we saw the space station.
Yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah, and I was like staring at it, and they're like, what? I'm like, guys, I think that's a UFO. And they're like, where? And I'm like pointing, I'm like, right there. They're like, no, it's the U.S. space station. And I'm like, okay.
And you can get those apps on your phone now that point out the planets, the stars, and they have space stations and satellites on them now. So that's pretty cool. There have been a couple famous instances of people getting abducted. None of our friends, unfortunately. I really wish that someone had been abducted. So, and if you really haven't, didn't want to share it because you're embarrassed, don't be. Just share it. I want to know.
We won't use your name.
You guys may have heard of Barney and Betty Hill. I'll just kind of read part of their story.
Okay, I have to interject. The dog itself in this picture looks like the alien. I'm pretty sure it was the dog.
The combination of the drugs and this damn Wiener Schnitzel dog.
I know. If you look, he's like staring into your soul.
Oh, so. It's their dog Delcy. That's what we named the aliens, the Delcies.
Ooh, that's kind of a cool name.
So this poor dog. Barney and Betty Hill were an American couple who claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire from September 19th to 20th in 1961. The incident came to be called the Hill abduction and the Zeta Reticuli incident because two ufologists connected the star map shown to Betty Hill with the Zeta Reticuli system. It was adapted into the best-selling 1966 book, The Interrupted Journey, and was made a television series or a television film on NBC called The UFO Incident. So, do you believe they were abducted?
No, it was the dog.
Oh, that's right. You've already given us.
I've already told you what it was. It was the dog.
You've already told us what you think.
The dog is the alien. The alien is the dog.
So then the dog must have came back to abduct Travis Walton in 1975.
Probably.
Travis Walton incident was an alleged alien abduction of American forestry worker Travis Walton on November 5th, 1975. I think I was reading something, though, that he had watched the UFO incident. Oh, yes. On October 20th, Rogers acknowledged in writing that the job had fallen seriously behind schedule and might not be completed by the deadline. That night, Walton and Rogers watched the UFO incident, the movie of Barney and Betty. After the broadcast, Walton reportedly discussed the possibility of being taken aboard a flying saucer. November 5th, he was reported missing, and then after 5 days and 6 hours...
He was behind on a project?
Yeah.
And then he got abducted?
Yeah. Right after watching the UFO
I'm going to use that excuse from now on.
I agree. Because I get really busy.
Well, if I don't want to come to work, it's because I got abducted.
Yeah. After 5 days and 6 hours, Walton called his sister from a phone booth in Heber, Walton sold his story to tabloid The National Enquirer, which published the account and awarded the crew a $5,000 prize. In 1978, he wrote The Walton Experience, which was adapted into a film called Fire in the Sky. I think he's faking it.
Oh, yeah, he was trying to get out of work.
Or the dog did come back. The dog saw that he was watching it, teleported through the TV, and just like...
threatened his life.
Yeah. He's like, we're going up to my spaceship right now, bitch.
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
I was behind on work, and then I got abducted, so then I got really
behind, but now I don't have to work because I sold this alien story. We should just write that we did a podcast about aliens, so now they know we're here.
And they abducted us.
Yeah. So I've never been abducted. Kind of want to be. As long as they look like Sukuna.
Now hear me out. What if we have been abducted
and they wipe your memory?
and we don't know?
Have you ever woken up feeling like weird?
Well, I wake up with bruises all over my...
Okay, hear me out. What if twins actually aren't a thing? And when someone has twins, so someone's pregnant by their husband, you have Ethan's child in you, which would probably be Isley because she's more like Ethan than Aiden. So you have Isley inside you, you're impregnated, and then you get abducted right after insemination, and then they put another one in you. And now all the second twins, because Isley was born first, wasn't she?
Well, and they were saying that she was technically 3 days older.
You were twins aren't real. Conspiracy.
And
Boom.
I read somewhere... Okay,
Aiden, you're an alien.
so hear me out.
Okay.
So I found out I was AB negative when I got pregnant because they have to know your blood type, and because if you're negative, Rh negative, you have to do these shots because your body will try to fight the babies to abort them.
Okay.
Because
Especially because one's an alien.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, so down my weird rabbit hole of pregnancies, because I was like not expecting twins, I came across that they were saying Rh negative is to like an ancient alien blood type.
Like the predators in the pyramids. The predator.
So, okay, so
You're an
I found
alien.
this. So I found this article, and this little thing says, some believe Rh negative blood is simply a mutation that came about at some unknown time in our evolution. But, as strange as it sounds, others have speculated that the possibility it may have come from an alien species that interbred with humans or engineered us in some way, producing a hybrid bloodline.
I have goosebumps right now. What the fuck? Twins. If you have twins, one's an alien.
And then it says, when you look at hybrid animals and other species, there's a similar incompatibilities and sometimes even complete infertility. Like when a horse and a donkey mate, they result in a sterile mule.
Yeah.
And then like that. But yeah.
You're an alien. Aiden's an alien. Every twin. You guys figure out which one's the alien.
Yeah.
That is insane. Wow.
So then I told Ethan that, and he's like, I don't believe that. And I'm like, well,
Don't then.
it
Wow.
explains a lot.
I'm actually baffled. I almost don't even need to do a random fact after that because that was very interesting. But I did find a morbid one. And you know my theme of not coming up with...
This is true.
Yeah, I don't have facts that pertain to the episode. Well, this happened to be a fact I wanted to do a couple episodes ago because I just love space and I wanted to do a space fact, but then I found the other one and whatever. So I was like, perfect, we're actually doing an alien episode, so I'll do my space fact today.
Okay.
So, and this is probably a given for some people, but for me, I never thought about it. And when you hear it, it's kind of like, oh shit, that's true. There are corpses in space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, most people are like, yeah, duh. But I'm like, when you hear it like that, like there's just corpses floating around in space somewhere that have just never come home. Mm-hmm. So there have been over 200 space missions conducted by NASA alone and over 430 people that have been sent to space. Unfortunately, not all of these space missions have been successful, and some earlier failed missions have resulted in deaths of both humans and animals. What makes matters even more horrifying is the fact that some of these failed spacecrafts have never been recovered.
Yeah,
So,
like how are you going to recover that?
Yeah, so there's both spacecrafts floating around in space as well as the deceased personnel inside of them, just floating out there all nasty.
I know.
It's kind of freaky.
Well, it's kind of the same way when people climb Mount Everest.
I love that. The Rainbow Mountain.
Yeah,
I'm such a freaking morbid ass bitch. I'm like, I love that. I want to go see it.
I know.
I just want to go see dead people on a mountain, but they're like frozen up
They're
there
like
and they can't
frozen
recover them.
because, yeah, half the time they can't.
Isn't it like called Rainbow Gorge or Rainbow Valley or
Something like that. I don't know, but I just remember reading on it, and then
Yeah.
I'm just like, people, stop climbing it. Leave it alone.
I don't know. I want to climb it.
No, too cold.
I would. I think it'd be fun. We haven't mentioned this yet, but if you guys could go and like our podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, or even just like our Facebook page. We made a Facebook page.
We made a Facebook
Finally.
page.
We hadn't wanted to for a while, but then we're like, you know what?
And
Let's do it. There's some people on
we've had-
Facebook that don't have.
We've had several people be like, yeah. Like,
Make a Facebook page. Yeah. So we made a Facebook page if you want to go like or follow us on there. Follow us on Instagram at This Just Got Weird Pod, and TikTok at This Just Got Weird Pod. Our threads is the same. But it would also really, really help if you guys liked the episode, shared the episode, or left us a review on the platforms. That would be really, really helpful on both Apple Podcast and Spotify specifically. And we're on YouTube now.
We are on YouTube, so we are throwing the idea of recording while we make the
While we pod.
podcasts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's something we're kind of playing with. We've got some stuff we're working on.
Yeah.
We're not the most technology savvy of people.
No, we're not. That's why it took us
So-
so long to get on
Just
YouTube.
a fumbling around.
All the YouTube wanted was an email, and we did not
we
realize.
couldn't do that, apparently. We had no clue.
But yes, we may record in the future, but for now, and I didn't know this, YouTube actually has a podcast
Yeah,
section
they
where you
do.
can just go listen to podcasts. So if you want to listen on there, you can. But yeah, like I said, like us, leave us a review, do whatever. Don't go in space and leave your body behind. And
And you might
twins
be
are a conspiracy.
might be an alien if you are Rh negative.
I think you're totally an alien, or if you're a twin. Thanks for listening, and we'll hope to see you next week. Bye.